Back here again with another vinyl finds video. A couple weeks ago, since the last time I just did one, and back here again already with another one. Figured actually went to Irvington Vinyl one last time about a week ago. Their actually last day was this past Saturday, March 31st. It's sad to see it go. They're actually having 60% off though the last week or two that they were open, and so I went there a week before they actually closed, and definitely not as much stuff there as the first day of the sale, but definitely was getting thinned out a little bit. But they still did have a surprising amount of pretty cool stuff left. So I actually did pick up a few things there. The cool thing that I found though is a bunch of Laserdisc, and I don't know if these are something that he's had in the store, he just brought out to get rid of, or maybe because he does have a basement area of the store. And I honestly really don't go down there that often. So I don't know if he had them down there, and I just never saw them because I very rarely ever go down there when I shop in there. And he maybe brought them up, but this is, I got probably 21 Laserdisc here. And all of them are concert Laserdisc, and I usually don't come across too many concert Laserdisc out in the open. I have a few of them in my collection. I could see them at the half price books and here and there, random places, but never this many in one place. So Irvington, always with amazing surprises, even before, just right up to when they're about to close for good. But these are all $2 a piece, and just a pretty good selection of stuff. The first one is Bob Dylan 30th anniversary concert. Pretty psyched to have this one because it has Eddie Vedder and Mike McCready doing Masters of War. But you actually can see Eddie Vedder right there, so I was definitely pretty psyched to pick that up. And then this one's actually not a concert, it's actually a Pinocchio. Always like getting the Disney movies on Laserdisc, I have quite a few of them. Then I found Allman Brothers Band live at Great Woods from September 6, 1991. The band is back. The Rolling Stones live at the Max. Then Crosby, Stills, Nash acoustic. The Doors, the Soft Parade, a retrospective. So pretty cool to find some Doors Laserdisc in there. Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band. The Who live featuring the rock opera of Tommy, them doing Tommy live. I actually have the movie Tommy on Laserdisc too. And I got Dire Straits live, Eric Clapton live now, Joe Cocker, Mad Dogs and Englishmen, Paul Simon's Concert in the Park from August 15th, 1991. Thought that was pretty cool to find on Laserdisc. The Doors live at the Hollywood Bowl. Definitely another one cool to find on Laserdisc. I think I have this on Blu-ray, but it's definitely cool to have the Laserdisc version of it. Then I got Paul McCartney, put it there. I do have another Paul McCartney Laserdisc I picked up a couple months ago at Half Price Books. So this cool to have another Paul McCartney. Then I got Big Brother and the Holding Company, Ball and Chain, live in studio, San Francisco, 1967. I think it was recorded at a radio station. It recorded at KQU. Oh my gosh, sorry, I cannot talk. KQED, San Francisco, April 25th, 1967. Then another Cream of Eric Clapton. And Eric Clapton, 24 Nights. American Graffiti, the movie. Bobby and the Midnights, of course, with Bob Weir from the Grateful Dead. And the last Laserdisc I picked up there is Grateful Dead So Far. So definitely just, I was pretty stoked to pick up all those Laserdiscs there. I was not honestly expecting them actually to see those because the last time I was at Irvington, I honestly never saw them there. So definitely a pretty cool surprise. I did pick up a few albums in there as well. I picked up Paul Westerberg, Eventually, Originally came out in 1996. This is the 2013 reissue. Really solid album from Paul Westerberg. Always loved trying to find the solo stuff and stuff with the replacements. So, and then I also picked up Helmet, Dead to the World. This is their newest album that came out in 2016. I've honestly been meaning to pick it up for a while, and this is on clear vinyl as well. And I was kind of honestly surprised that he still had a copy in the store, and for 60% off, I can not pick it up. So I definitely had to pick that one up, one that I was definitely needing to get. And the last album I picked up at Irvington Vinyl, it was The Late Show. This is an original copy of Portable Pop. These guys are actually a local band to Indianapolis. This came out in 1980. It's actually kind of it was actually kind of an expensive album. He had $40 on it, so I got it for $18 with the 60% off. So I figured I would pick it up for this. It's actually a really good album. A band that my dad had seen a lot of times back in the early 80s. My dad actually has a pristine copy of this album that he actually picked up back when it came out. And this is a really solid album. Definitely recommend looking these guys up on YouTube and finding some of their songs. And I know they've been talking about for a while actually coming out with a new album. And this is the only album they actually have officially out right now, I believe. I think they might have a live album too. But I know they've been talking about releasing a new album. They've been talking about it for years though, and I think it's supposed to come out in March, and still don't think it's come out yet. I know I see them updating their Facebook page every once in a while, but they seem to still do shows every once in a while locally here in Indiana. But nonetheless, still cool to pick that up. And I know he's had it at Irvington Vinyl for a while, but I definitely don't want to pay the full price for it, so I couldn't resist though for 60% off. So I definitely picked it up. Those are the last purchases that I'm ever gonna be able to unfortunately get at Irvington Vinyl, but always been a great place to find albums. Always found something cool in there. So definitely cool that I was able to find one last batch of albums and Laserdisc in there. So definitely cool there. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble when it came out. It's Neil Young and plus The Promise of the Real Paradox. Neil Young's newest album. It's the soundtrack from the movie Paradox, which is out on Netflix now. I actually have not seen the movie. Have listened to the album. Pretty solid album. It's a lot of instrumental stuff, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but definitely a decent album though from Neil Young. And then I picked up a couple albums at the Vinyl Rescue Project. A couple of Mike Doty's. Actually picked up two Mike Doty's. This one, and of course Yes and Also Yes. This one came out in 2005, and this one came out in 2011. Of course, Mike Doty is the lead singer of Soul Coffee. These solid soul albums as well. He actually has a song on here that he does with Dave Matthews, The Tremendous Brunettes, that I really enjoy. So definitely cool to find those ones, and they weren't very expensive at all. And the last album I picked up, I actually found this one at Half Price Books probably about a week ago. It's actually a master recording of David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. I have an original copy of this. I honestly couldn't resist picking this one up. They actually had a pretty good price on it at Half Price Books, so I picked it up. And the funny thing is actually they have a case that they have locked up with a bunch of the more the rare records. Sometimes they have records in there that probably shouldn't be in there. This one, I definitely understand why they would put that in there. But they had a few master recordings in there. They had a couple Beatles and stuff. Of course, the Beatles, they had, a lot more on them than they did the Bowie. But I asked if I could actually see the record out of the case, and they accidentally broke the lock on the that was attached to the case, and they couldn't get the case open. So they actually told me that they would hold this back for me if they were able to get the case open. And I guess they actually had to break the lock on it, because they called me the next day and they said they were able to finally get the case open. And this album was in pristine condition. And they actually gave me another discount on top of the inconvenience of him not being able to open the case. So definitely was pretty happy that I was able to pick that up. I mean, it sounds amazing. Just a really, really great quality recording, and I mean, of course, original master recording. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a bad one. So that definitely an awesome sounding album. Definitely could not resist picking that one up. But that is all the albums that I have picked up in the last couple of weeks. Definitely looking forward to Record Store Day. I know that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Was actually kind of afraid that I was not going to be able to go off work for it, but I do have the day off officially, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. There's a few things that, on the list that I am interested in, especially the Soundgarden A-sides, but I mean, nothing that's must-have if I'm not able to actually pick up, but nonetheless, still looking forward to going out and having a fun day looking up for records that day. But I assume that's probably the next time I'm going to make a video. But anyway, thanks again, guys, for watching.